1400 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad said, a sign of the end of times will be, you barefooted Bedouins will be competing in building skyscrapers. He said another thing, he said, the earth will puke out its treasures to you, and wealth will be abundant amongst. Now, where is the tallest building today in the world?
That's the Burj Khalifa.
Where is that? In Dubai.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. And you know who's competing with them? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They have their Mecca clock tower, and they're building another one in Jeddah.
Wow.
And then when did they get the money to build the skyscrapers? 50 years ago, Dubai was a desert. They only found oil.
Oil from the earth. Wow. That's
Imagine.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
This was said 1400 years ago. And one of the noblemen came to them and said, "Oh Muhammad, you're losing your money because we're boycotted. You're losing your status because we're degrading you." It started making the poets say the worst of the worst things about him. Basically like propaganda today. And they started boycotting him and his followers. So no more money. They had no more money. They literally went on a hunger strike, and they starved him for 3 years. And they were killing his followers. So they were in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
And he says to him, "Oh Muhammad, why are you doing this? You lost your status, you lost your money, you lost everything. If you want to be our leader, we'll make you our leader. If you want money, we'll give you all our money. If you want women, we'll give you the most beautiful women. But just stop this message. You were going up. This message is making you go down. Just stop your message." He said, "By God, if you give the sun in my right hand and you give the moon in my left hand, I will not give up this message." Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine a person, regular people, they go up the ladder. They don't try to go down the ladder. Unless they speak truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So does that sound like a prophet to you?
All this material wealth and refusing for your beliefs.
Exactly. They said, "We'll make you our leader. If you want to be our king, we'll make you our king." But just leave this message of saying La ilaha illallah. Stop saying there's only one creator. Stop this. You know, we sold.
But it will.
Yeah, you know, we sold idol. That was their business.
Yeah.
You know, we sold
a lot
idol.
of false idols.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's like, if you give everything to me, I won't stop.
I still will. Yeah.
Does that sound like a messenger to you?
Yeah.
A prophet of God? So this is what we say. If you believe in Prophet Muhammad as a messenger of God, and you believe in all the prophets before, that they were sent as messengers to their people. You're Muslim. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. Let me give you a gift, my friend.
Yeah, man. I love learning. Like, and there's so many good messaging and stuff like that.
This is the Quran. I don't know, you probably have one, but this is another one.
Yes.
This is the English one. Read it, maybe with a new lens.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Scrutinize it.
Yeah.
See if this is truth. Because what is the Quran? What is the claim of the Quran?
Yeah.
That this is not the word of the Prophet Muhammad. This is the word of the Creator. And it was transmitted to the Prophet Muhammad, and his companions wrote it down later on. But first it was memorized, and we still memorize it for it. What do you think about that?
I love it, man. I think a lot of this, the face-to-face talking about it's a lot more personable than like lectures on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a million like religious professors, and stuff
Yeah.
like that talk about it, but I think it's like, did you grow up with it?
Yeah, I was born Muslim, but that's the thing. We as Muslims believe every human being is born on what is called the fitrah. What is the fitrah? It's kind of loosely translated as the innate disposition. Every human being is born believing that there's a one creator. You see what I mean? That's why we say all humans were born as Muslims. That's why when someone becomes a Muslim, we don't call him a convert, we call him a rebirth. Because he was born a Muslim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he was born a submitter to God. So I was born Muslim, but you can't be born convicted, Toga. You can't be born with conviction there. You learn that and you attain that basically. So that you get that with learning, really. Let me tell you one prophecy of Prophet Muhammad, which maybe it'll shock you.
Yeah.
1400 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad said to the Arabs, he said, a sign of the times, a sign of the end of times will be, you barefooted Bedouins. You know a Bedouin, right? The Bedouin is like a herder.
Okay.
Like a man that doesn't stay in one spot.
Oh, okay.
He goes with his camel wherever the camel takes it, he lives there.
Okay. Kind of nomadic.
Yeah, nomad, exactly. So he said, you barefooted nomads will be competing in building skyscrapers.
That'll be the end of times.
He said, that's a sign of the end
Yeah,
of
it's
times.
not the end of times.
He said, you barefooted Bedouins,
Yeah, you're always walking around. You're gonna be.
you'll be competing, building skyscrapers with each other. He said another thing. He said, the earth will puke out its treasures to you, and wealth will be abundant amongst. Now, where is the tallest building today in the world?
That's the Burj Khalifa.
Where is that? In Dubai.
Yeah.
Very good. And you know who's competing with them? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They have the Mecca clock tower, and they're building another one in Jeddah.
Wow.
And those were the same Bedouin Arabs that he was speaking about, because it's the same locality. And then when did they get the money to build the skyscrapers? 50 years ago, Dubai was a desert. They only found it
From
oil.
Oil from the earth. Wow. That's
Imagine.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
This was said 1400 years ago, Rory.
That's crazy. Hey, good. You remember my name, man.
That's
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy, Rory?
That is crazy. That's crazy.
This is one prophecy, and I'll tell you something. This is enough for someone to accept the Prophet Muhammad. But it's a cumulative belief.
Yeah.
There are tens of prophecies that the Prophet Muhammad made, and they all are true. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It interests me. Like I would love to learn more about this. Like I stopped reading after the assignments, but like I think it would be good to.
Let me give you a couple more miracles.
Okay.
So in the Quran, because the Quran is different from the words of the Prophet Muhammad, remember?
Mhm.
Well, who are the words of the Quran?
The word of the Quran is his followers who wrote them down after.
No, but who authored the Quran? I mean, the Creator. Words of the Creator, the words of Allah, written down by the companions of the Prophet, memorized by the Prophet and taught by the Prophet. But who authored the Quran? Allah. The Prophet Muhammad made prophecies and miracles as well. The Quran says, for example, it describes the development of the human embryo. Imagine 1400 years ago. It talks about how the embryo clings on the inside of the woman, to where we only discovered maybe around 50 years ago, because the level of the size of the embryo is microscopic, can't be seen with the naked eye. How would the Prophet Muhammad know this? Look at their advancements. In the Quran, it describes the clouds as something extremely heavy. If we look at the clouds now, what do we think?
They look pretty light.
It looks super light.
Yeah.
It looks like cotton candy.
Yeah.
But what do we know today in modern science?
They're way more than that.
They carry
Yeah.
hundreds, if not thousands, of tons of
Yeah,
water.
Yeah.
How would the Prophet Muhammad know that 1400 years ago? The Prophet Muhammad, the Quran describes how the universe is expanding. Imagine, 1400 years.
Yeah.
It says how the universe had a start. It began. So the Quran is literally littered with miracles and prophecies. And it's you need to read it, basically.
Yeah.
What do you think? What any comments?
I don't know. I appreciate you coming out here and
I appreciate you, man.
You're not being hateful or anything. Like
I appreciate your goosebumps.
You're just like you're showing here. You're spreading these this word what you believe. Like I really respect that you're taking the time out of your day. Both of you guys.
Thank you, bro. I respect you for talking to us, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Hey, you guys have a good day. All right?
You too, man.